Welcome to the Nebraska Realty Wahoo Office Nebrasketball Hour. Your score, Nebraska 83, Indiana 77. The 10th ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers moved to 16-0. They are 5-0 in the Big Ten. The winning streak continues from April of last year. I believe it's 20 now. Is that correct? 20?
20.
Doesn't matter if I'm wrong. And here we are to discuss it with all of you. Welcome to the Nebrasketball Hour. Again, thank you to our great title sponsor, Nebraska Realty Wahoo Office. If you need, listen, I will tell you right now, check in the real estate listings that they've got. Stop in. You got Tim Shanahan. He's a legend, the associate broker on the basketball court back in the day. Kurt Malley, that's my guy. Rank, that is full mast guy, who I know is full mast right now. Full mast right now. You got Kurt, you got Dan Sanderson. He's the best freaking auctioneer in the state, if not beyond. And they're all together up in Wahoo. And if you're looking for an experience and a hardworking team, these guys have like 100 years combined experience. They know the state. Get your market analysis for free. Dan's doing ag business through estates, representing buyers, representing sellers. I don't care if you're in Lincoln. I don't care if you're in Omaha. I don't care if you're in Grand Island. They can help you buy. They can help you sell. Personal property auctions too. 402-443-3415, 402-443-3415, or call Kurt's cell phone. It's right there. 402-480-1708. He probably shouldn't give that out, but I don't care. He doesn't care. None of us care. Because Nebraska, if you didn't hear, let me say it for the people in the back. Nebraska, 83. Indiana, 77. 16-0. Nebraska down 9 at half. Tears off. Get ready for it. 53 points in the second half after scoring a paltry 30 points in the second half. Full mask guy just texted me. Shout out, Kurt. Let's party. Let's party. And today, after what has, as most of you know, been a horrendous week for my family, I am because of Caleb Henry had some things come up at the very last minute, and I was like, we need to get someone. I didn't know if Josh was available, so we sent in some texts and ended up texting my son, Johnny Liesveld, who was at his house in Lincoln. And we've always kind of talked, hey, it'd be fun to do a show sometime. Johnny's a former basketball player. He knows a lot more about X's and O's than me. But more than anything, it's super special to have this moment with him. Most of you all know him, and we are very excited. And Johnny just turned 21. So before we do anything, for our first ever as a father and a son, celebratory post-game beverage. Yeah. Johnny, we normally don't drink at 1:30 in the afternoon.
I do not. No, this is celebratory. Yeah. So
we are having one.
There we go.
Cheers, everyone. Nebraska basketball. Pinch yourselves. 16-0. And I'm going to get into the game, but every game, Johnny, every game, I don't know how you feel, but every time I'm like this, I'm telling myself it's probably gonna not the successful season, but this streak, right? It's probably gonna end
right
tomorrow. It's probably gonna end with the next game. It's definitely going to happen. And after the first half, I was sure of it. And I don't mean that
fairy tale season. Yeah, this fairy tale season is not going to last any longer.
Just be clear, that's not any slight to this team, which I love. It is not any slight to Fred Hoiberg, who I am so high on right now, through the roof. Nebraska may have one of the best coaches in the nation right now. It's not a slight to any of it. It's a little bit about the law of averages. It's a little bit about my past sports trauma. It's about all of those things. But guys, I have been saying that for 6 freaking weeks, and every day it doesn't happen. And now, I'm not going to get into the ramifications yet. We will. Don't worry. Oh, we got time. We got lots of time. Get your beverage, get your popcorn, whatever you need. Settle in, get the family gathered around your phone or YouTube, on your TV, on your Roku, on your Google Chromecast, whatever it is, because we have a lot to talk about today. Real quickly, I'm sure we've got a bunch of new people joining us right now, hopefully college kids. We are the I-80 Club. Josh Peterson and I put this together, and we do many shows, including post-game shows, the Nebrasketball Hour. My typical co-host is Caleb Henry. Sometimes Josh will sit in with me, and now for the first time, Johnny will sit in with me, my son. If you ever want more of our content, we do some premium shows. Most of them are public and for free, but we do some premium with a little more insidery info. You can get that at patreon.com/I80 if you'd like to become a member and become part of our Discord. The Discord is where we take the live chat from. So shout out to my I-80 Club members. You can also send super chats. Please send super chats if you would like to. I'm going to try and we might have, oh my gosh, we already got.
Oh, there we go. Brandon, you bet.
Josh Gabs always super chats us, a random player.
Amazing.
From your era, Johnny. That is right.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing him walking around when I was at the Tim Miles basketball camp.
You drinking a Natty Light, you Stacy? What in the world?
I grabbed this out of the fridge. Right. It is not mine.
I'm really surprised that a bachelor pad of college kids has a Natty Light. Ahen, let's go. He says, welcome ball. The original, back in the day, Nebrasketball brunch greeting. If you know, you know. And Dutch Oven 51. And you got the two Duchess guys in town right here. Well, Rick is
maybe not.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I live here, but I mean, I got at least as much Dutch blood pulsing through my veins. I did the ancestry stuff. Look, by the way, Johnny, real quick before we get into the game, you know this. My mom, you call her Grammy, and her sister Jane are on me because they think, and my family truly is Dutch. I believe his great grandparents came here. Like, we're fairly new as a family here on both sides. My mom is begging me to somehow get Rank Mass to come over for dinner so she and Jane can make him like a Dutch meal. And I'm like,
for dinner?
Like for a meal.
I mean, I don't even know what a Dutch meal is.
I don't either. Oh,
do they have like just
almond bark, Dutch letters?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, that would be amazing, but I think they might be.
So if somebody tell Rank, my mom and my aunt would like to have him. We got a lot of like Dutch plates on the wall and Dutch cookbooks, and
I'll see what I can do about that next time I see him around campus.
Yes. Okay, so super chats. If you're on the YouTube chat, you can send a super chat if you really want to say something, or if you're a member. And so DZ says, reminder that Jack didn't want to do a show this season. That's true. I didn't want to do a show. That's because of all those shows after they lost last year. I was like, I don't feel like doing a show. I don't freaking feel like doing a show. Now it's been it's pretty good. So there you go. Royals girl says, LMAO, please invite the whole club over if this happens. Okay, let's get to the game. I will tell you what, Johnny, I had made peace after the first half.
Yeah.
With the fact that this was
the end.
I thought, the end, because Nebraska was not shooting overly well during that game. But even bigger than that, Indiana was exploiting Nebraska's defense in a way that I had not seen. Nebraska looked great on defense. They were frustrating them for the first few minutes, but between what Indiana was doing defensively to take away Rank Mast, to take away those cutting plays that seem to always work for Nebraska basketball, and I'll have you kind of get more into the X's and O's of stuff with that. But I thought DeVries did an incredible job coaching up that Indiana defense, and that nobody had schemed Nebraska's offense like that this year, I don't think, defensively.
Yeah, and I'll start out with Indiana's offense first half. The most infuriating thing about that first half was that they were getting to the rim. Because, I mean, our entire defense is the no middle defense, right? We want people to not be able to take any shots in the post. And they were getting to the rim again and again and again. They were getting rebounds, and then they would have, I think they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 threes in that first half. I mean,
most of them by number 3.
Yeah, whatever. I forgot his name, but man, he is a great player. But the thing about
that's Wilkerson. That's Lamar Wilkerson, by the way. Yes, 39 minutes Wilkerson. He played. He went for ended up going for 32.
Right. And the thing about Nebraska's offense is you kind of started to see the cracks forming a little bit. I think in those North Dakota and New Hampshire games, you started to see our half court offense not look as great. We were not getting super great looks off of our pick and rolls. We were not getting as wide open shots as we had been getting earlier in the season. And I think that's because they understand how to guard Price better now, because there is not at any times when Price is on offense on the court where there's somebody within less than there. He's always got somebody in his face at all times. And so I think that has been a big game changer for teams playing against us. So we just haven't been able to get great shots, but we made 2 threes in that first half. One of them was Bear K. And they showed a graphic. Yeah. Bear K is shooting, just draining threes.
Did Jamarcus only have 1 in the first half? 1 3. Is that right?
We might have had 3.
I think there were a little bit more than that.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. Jamarcus Lawrence. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, there were 4 threes. Jamarcus had a 3. Let's see. Jamarcus, Bear K's. And then you had Lawrence, another one. Lawrence had 3 threes in that first half. So yeah.
God. Yeah. Lawrence.
And Kale had 1. So there were 5. You actually are way off.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at the shot chart, which is probably
that's what I'm looking at
to do this, but
that's what I'm looking at too.
Yeah. But anyways, Nebraska's half court offense has not looked great. And you kind of start to see that in Ohio State when we just we were getting so many turnovers. And I thought that was going to be the rest of this game, because obviously Jamarcus was playing well, but Rank was not himself. Bear K was not really himself, but they just turned it on in that second half in a way that I have never seen a team turn it on offensively like that coming out of, not even after half. It was 5 or 6 minutes into the second half. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
All right. Couple of super chats. Gaming Chestnut says, call us MC Hammer the way we're too legit to quit. You're not going to get that. Frostbite.
I know MC Hammer. What are you talking about?
Okay. Frostbite Scott. I just cannot believe how amazing Frager is when close in game. We'll get to this, but you're exactly right, Frostbite Scott. Appreciate that. And I will tell you this, that end of the second half, I think about 5 minutes left. Nebraska is close to even with them. Indiana gets up by 5 with about 2.5 minutes left. And I remember I put something in the Discord and I said, just keep it, 5 or less. And they did not. Indiana,
the opposite of that.
They got it up to 9. And Frager had those 2 quick fouls. The second one was garbage.
Yes.
They had 2 quick fouls. I thought not having him in there playing Kale had to play a lot of minutes. I thought that hurt because they needed that. They needed a little bit of a threat of somebody who could create their own offense, because as you said, kind of the motion stuff wasn't working. They weren't getting some of those layups that you get occasionally with Hoiberg and Rank kind of passing the ball from the top. You just weren't getting that. You needed someone to create off the dribble. And, at this point, that's Frager on this team. That's real. He is the best person to do that. And so that, I kept my one piece of hope was, okay, when they get Frager back in the game, maybe that changes things, and we can discuss if that's, I don't even know if that's the real thing that happened with this. I think it probably was more about defense in some ways, but in Nebraska's defense didn't look nearly as sharp as it would, especially in the end of that first half as well. Like that was the issue. And I think when you had Kale in there, man, he was so, overly timid at the beginning, and I thought he was out of that. I remember when we were in Oklahoma, Johnny, we were talking about that. And I remember that game, I was actually talking to you, and we were like, Kale and Sam both need to not be afraid to be a little bit more aggressive. Since that moment, Sam really has been.
Yes.
But Kale passed up, and I don't want him to turn it up to 10, and we'll, at some point it's too much, but and the weird thing is he did then hit a 3, and then he did go in and get a drive. He ended up having 5 points during that thing.
I can't remember the last time before today that Kale has actually made a 3. And I think he is so in his head offensively, but once he gets one in, he took that guy right to the rim and he got fouled. Like that was such a great drive. And if he could do that more often, that would be such an addition to our offense. But
now I will say that. So I was critical of him just because they had
Yeah.
3 or 4 possessions where they either didn't get a shot up or they had to put up a desperation heave as the shot clock ran out. And there were a variety of reasons for that. One of that, though, is I just think Cale basically was, for the majority of his time in there, kind of just decided he wasn't going to be an offensive option. Yeah. And so you're playing with 4 offensive options until you're not.
Right.
And so that was a part of the problem, but there were a lot of them. There were a lot of them. And, but the one thing he did do, and I like this, I had a tweet about it. I know you saw it.
Yeah.
There was that moment where he got, and I don't even know totally what happened. I was watching on my phone at that point, but
here's exactly.
This is with Connor Enright, who, by the way, shout out to whoever on our Discord called him Timo Larry Bird. God, screwed the delivery.
Fumbled
of the
that
joke
one.
Up. Yeah.
But here's what happened. So Cale had the ball at the top of the key. And then I think it was Price who came around for like a dribble handoff. And then he didn't end up handing it off, but the Timo Larry Bird just went straight through Cale. And I thought maybe Cale had like pivoted into him or something, but he just went straight through him. Cale got up and said something to him, and he did not take that well.
He tried to take the ball from him, and he actually failed at that. Cale kept it, and Cale looked so proud of not letting him get the ball at that moment. It was freaking funny.
Oh man, I was doing some lip reading, and man, he was not happy.
It
was a foul though. It was 100% a foul. I don't know what he's complaining about.
It's so funny because among the gripes I had at the first half is just like, if he's going to be in there, he can't be an offensive zero. I'm not asking him to get 15 points, and eventually he didn't. But when that moment happened, I said something about bookmarking it, and I thought it was going to be for naught because they got down a lot. But one of the things about this Nebraska team is you can't beat them with emotion and just you can't, because I when their defense is playing well, and they played well at times and they played poorly at other times, but when Nebraska's defense is playing well, I liken it to almost facing like a military academy offense if you're on defense the other way. It's just that you've got to be disciplined, you've got to be assignment sound, you've got to communicate. You can talk more about that than I can, but the emotion of it doesn't help a ton. Even sometimes the athleticism of it doesn't help a ton. It's like a cerebral. We force you to be cerebral when we're playing defense and Indiana did a good job at parts of it. But the beginning of the first half, they had all kinds of problems, and then at the end of the game, same thing. They would not make the defense got them trapped so many times, and they're making wild ass across the court passes that led them to turnovers. I don't know we'll have to look at some of the numbers here in a little bit.
There were so many tipped passes. I mean, Jamarcus Lawrence had 3 steals along with 27 points, and Sam Hoiberg had 3 steals, and then Frager and Price and Cale each had 1 steal. That was what won us this game. That was because when we were down, the reason that we did not let that lead just keep on growing is because we kept getting turnovers. We kept forcing turnovers even when we were down by 16 points. That was the key to being able to come back in this game, because they were making a ton of shots early. So the only way that we were going to be able to come back is to not allow them to get a shot in that possession. And I love this Nebraska team so much, because if you just tuned in to a game randomly and didn't have the score there, you would never be able to tell if they were winning by 30 or losing by 20.
No emotion.
Because no emotion. They still play the same. And I think that is so heavily due to the fact that we have people like Rank, we have Jamarcus, who are just so stoic.
The dads.
So
I call
calm.
them the dads.
Right. Yes, Jamarcus and Rank. I think they are the mental leaders, and Sam to an extent, but I think
those two especially.
I think Sam has more energy though, and I think sometimes because
emotional
energy, right? Because you didn't see Sam earlier in this season and past seasons where he would he would get a bad turnover, or he'd make a bad pass, and then he'd go back and immediately get a bad foul on the defensive end. But having such good, strong leaders who do not have any emotion has just.
I swear, Jamarcus Pulse doesn't get above 65 in those games. That guy is
big game J-Law.
Like he is, but it's just because he just runs so cool all the time.
Right.
I saw him smile tonight after the game, and I was like, I don't think I've seen that dude smile before.
I remember watching him during that Michigan State game and thinking that was, out of all the environments that you feel like you would get a lot of adrenaline in, and he did not change the expression on his face one time the entire game. And so that has been such an underrated. He has been such an underrated presence on this team.
And here's my lack of, my lack of belief, because I put a tweet out there when Michigan by the way, from the Discord, I saw Wisconsin is up 75-73 on Michigan. That's a while ago. That was with 7:57 left. So
75-75 right now.
75-75. All right. Yep. Keep us updated on
Creighton's getting their ass kicked by St. John's. That's
jeez. Sad.
Come on.
But I tweeted something out and I said, it's like every video you see of Fred Hoiberg during a huddle in the game when they put the mic on him or at halftime, what does he say? They're going to go on a run. They're going to go on a run. He tells that team ad nauseum, they're going to go on a run to basically get them to expect it, and not in a way that they're going to doubt themselves, but to expect it. So when it happens, they don't react as if it's unexpected. They don't react to, it's just, they're the opposite of me in life.
You mean they don't get flustered by anything?
Yeah. There's nothing, because they expect everything. People run. There are people like that in life. Just like, things go to hell, and they're calm and cool, and they're like, okay, well, we figured it would happen. We keep doing what we do, and we don't play emotionally, with the exception of Frager when you need an injection, and maybe a little bit of some other of those guys. But Royals Girl says, never get too high or too low. Let's effing go is another one of my favorite Fred lines.
Yep.
Yeah,
never he does that before they close the huddle after every win. Yeah, that's
T-Dub says, I wish that was the key when I was coaching youth basketball. Guys, they're going to go on a run. We'll be down 20. It'll be fine. Narrator, we were not fine. Yeah, same here as a coach. Yeah. I coached Johnny one summer. That was interesting. I almost
did.
I almost drew up the best full court Christian Laettner type situation.
The
kid missed the shot. Yeah. That was going to be my coaching. That was the last game I ever coached. I haven't coached a game in any sport since. Okay, let's get in real quick, and I'll continue to take chats. And welcome, by the way, people who are just joining us. It's Nebraska Ball Hour, brought to you by Nebraska Realty, Wahoo Office. Shout out to my guys at Nebraska Realty for taking a shot, taking a gamble on this show. Well, we think it's paying off for them. I hope it is. Kurt Malley, Tim Shanahan, Dan Sanderson. Those are the guys. Just remember that Wahoo Office, and it doesn't matter. You don't need to be in Wahoo, Lincoln, Omaha, anywhere in Nebraska. If you want their services, you can get it. And they have been huge advocates for this show. I'd become at least text friends with Kurt, full mask guy, and I know he's watching today. So big shout out to them once again. Okay, Johnny, I know you touched on it with the defense, but let's talk now, because I had made peace with the fact they were going to lose this game at halftime.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was beginning, maybe this is a coping device, but I said it that I was like, you know what? They probably need this. This is probably good. The goal, right? This is probably good. Yep. And we get, I remember thinking I took Nora, your sister, to, we were at dance. I was watching on the phone. We're driving back during halftime. And right as we almost got home, they got that 4-point play at the beginning of the second half.
Yeah.
The 3-and-1. And I was like, that's it. So I'm fully moved on to thinking about the loss and just saying, we're not overreacting to this loss. We knew it was coming. Here it is. We thought it was coming earlier. And it could be good. And, maybe a little of the national attention will probably being off them is probably a good thing for this team. So I was rationalizing the crap out of this whole thing. I did not. I mean, I will tell you what, you won't believe this, but I didn't believe they were going to win that game. And then I don't know where do you think we went back and watched a little bit of that second half. Where do you think kind of it turned? Because Nebraska came back in a freaking hurry. I didn't realize how fast that happened when they went down to, they got the 4-point play. And then I think they had another 3 that got them, was it up 16?
Yeah.
In the second half. So
like they're up 16.
Where was it where you started to say, oh, okay, this might be happening?
So I kept telling myself in that first half, they are not going to shoot 50% from 3 the whole game. They're just not going to be able to do that. And they did. They shot 50% from 3 that entire first half. And then for about 4 minutes into that second half. But what happened was Wilkerson, I mean, he was scoring all of their points. He was 5 for, I think, like 8. 5 for 8 with about 4 minutes into the second half. And what our defense did was it wasn't even a big adjustment. The only thing we did is we just made sure that somebody knew where he was on the court at all times. Because the way that our defense works is the ball goes into the post and they kick it out, and then everybody collapses in on that post, and then you're just hoping for a bad 3, right? But he was making all of those. So what we needed to do was we just needed to have somebody ready to close out on him immediately. Just know where he is at. And he had, I think, like 27 points fairly early in that second half and ended with 32 because we were just forcing him to take worse shots. We were forcing him to take contested off balance shots. He had a few that were just like, he would go down on the baseline and shoot a mid-range that would just fall short. Like, we were just making him take bad shots.
He was so hot, though. I didn't think you would miss anything.
Right,
no, that I was so impressed with that guy, by the way.
That's what Fred teaches, though. Like people, if you force them to continue to take contested shots, there's nobody that's going to be able to shoot 50% from 3 if we are able to contest it the way that we should be. And so I think that was just Fred being able to let our guys know that, hey, they're going to do this. He is the leading scorer in the Big Ten. This is going to happen. He's going to go on these runs, but he's not going to be able to maintain this. Mm-hmm. Right. And the whole team was unable to maintain it because they were shooting 50% from 3 as a team at the half, and they ended up shooting 11 for 30. That's 36%. Mm-hmm. I mean, we continue to contest shots. We didn't change what we were doing, but we just made sure that we were closing out more intensely. So I mean, that was the biggest key. And then just the turnovers, just forcing turnovers that changed the entire game. Even when we were down, it allowed us not to get down more. But Sam's impact defensively is something that will be studied in 20 years because just the team without Sam is not a team that is going to win, is undefeated at this point. Sam may be the second most valuable person on this team right now. Just because of the defense. Legitimately, I think that having him on defense has given us maybe 3 wins this season. Yeah. I don't know.
And I'll tell you what, man, you talk about guys you got to keep around here. You talk, obviously, Fred Hoiberg, right. You're hoping stays, but Nate Lesnar.
Oh my gosh. Give him whatever
he is doing.
Whatever he wants.
It just feels like Nebraska basketball is winning with scheme and having the right person, the right personalities and age, obviously, and coaching, but it feels like they out scheme everyone. That's what it feels like.
Yes.
Not for if you take little portions of the game, it doesn't always feel like that. But when you take the whole game, there's no game. I mean, hell, they haven't lost. So obviously it feels like it feels like they legitimately, in the first half of this game was where I felt like I was saying for the first time, it felt like DeVries, and that guy's a great coach. I mean, obviously, look at Creighton without him. But that guy, it looked like he was finally, Fred kind of met his match in the coaching. And do you think they changed, how much have they tweaked the offensive strategy? Obviously they were able to get Frager in, but he didn't really start scoring until the end of that. What changed offense? And they were hitting shots, right? The three-point percentage wasn't actually terrible in the first half. I remember looking early in the second half and they were at 33%, which is really kind of where Nebraska has been for most of these wins, except for Oklahoma and maybe Wisconsin. But most of these close wins, Michigan State, Ohio State, they're in that 33 to 35% range average for this. They ended up at over 40. So the threes were going in more. That obviously helped.
Right. But before that, I'm glad you brought this up, because what happened before we started that run to come back, the way that we got back into this game is the way that we've got back into games in the past, which is we realized that our half-court offense we were not getting wide open shots. We were not getting great looks that we wanted. So we just attacked the hole and we got fouled. That was so
right.
Huge. I think
Jamarcus, you're right about 4 possessions. So let's that's a great point, because I thought that same thing. So Wilkerson hits the 3 right to start the half off. Hoiberg makes it 2. Wilkerson gets him up by 10 then again. And then DeVries gets the 3.
Yep.
DeVries gets a 3. Sanford gets fouled and he misses the first free throw. And I'm like, geez. And then Wilkerson gets the 4-point play. At that point, Nebraska's up 16. You know what the next play is? That looks like this is about to get out of hand, right? It's about to get out of hand. Next play is Jamarcus Lawrence getting fouled. And making 2 free throws. Okay. And by the way, Rank had a foul. Tucker DeVries made both of his free throws. That was when actually they got up by, I believe that was the most they were up. They were up 16
because they got fouled on that 3.
Yeah. They were up because Lawrence missed his
one of his free throws.
No, he didn't. Anyway, DeVries makes the second free throw and they are up by 16 with 16:54 left. Next possession, Jamarcus Lawrence fouled again.
Yeah.
Makes both free throws, cut it to 14. Then Berke makes a 3, cut it to 11. I mean, this is how fast this started going.
Right.
DeVries misses a 17-footer. And then you had Berke turn it over then. He had a foul. He had that foul on the rebound. Raises his hand right away. Reed Bailey makes the 2 free throws. Lawrence then makes a 10-foot jumper by getting the ball inside. So we got Lawrence 3 times in a row, either getting fouled or getting inside. DeVries then gets another jumper, 21-foot jumper, and then Sam hits the 3. Huge. Sam hits the 3, Rinkmass assist on that. And then Nebraska starts playing defense after that. DeVries turns it over at that point. Wilkerson misses one of those mid-ranges exactly what you were just talking about, Johnny. The 15-foot jump, like a kind of a step back that he did there. And then a few more back and forth. And then Jamarcus hits another 3. And then 13 seconds later, you've got they put up a quick one. Sam gets a rebound. Price hits the 3. And all of a sudden, it's a 4-point game. That stretch, which was mainly characterized, or guys who made 3s. You had 3 guys who made 3s. You had Berke, unbelievably, that Berke 3 was huge.
Oh my gosh.
Berke, Sam, and then you finally had Sanford get another one, because I think he had that 1 3, and that's in the first half and nothing else. But Jamarcus getting those 4 free throws and that jumper, those 6 points must have done something to their defense. What are your thoughts about that?
So here's what I think. So I think that having Jamarcus able to just understand that he needs to go in and he needs to get fouled or he needs to get a bucket, and just having him be able to do that is so huge, because what that does is, up until that point, Indiana was controlling the pace completely. And Nebraska has no problem playing fast-paced, or whether it's a slower game like that Michigan State game. Like, we can win those games, but the problem is we were not controlling that pace. And so Indiana was able to, they were able to take the shot clock down, and they were still able to get a good shot, right? But Nebraska in that first half was taking the shot clock all the way down, and we were getting nothing. And so they were controlling the pace that entire game. But what those fouls do is, it stops all momentum, especially in away games. When you get I will say that the crowd sounded loud. I know it wasn't completely full there.
It sounded whiny.
They sounded whinier than hell. Holy cow.
Man.
But they were, and that doesn't have zero effect, right? And so being able to stop that, get fouled, be shooting free throws, it allows us to take a second and recollect ourselves. And I think especially when you have, we don't have a super deep team right now, especially with Rank and Bear K, they're having to play a ton of minutes. So any time that we can just take a breath.
I'm always worried about exhaustion. That's a great point. I am always worried. Rank looked exhausted at the end of that Ohio State game, right? They had to have.
Thank you. Bringing me another beer?
I thought it looked empty.
It was empty. Thank you.
Good ball.
Who's that?
That's my neighbor. He was watching the game with us.
Oh, he was the one who was up with us at the game the other time.
Yep. But no.
He's just in your house? He's your neighbor?
Yeah. We just invited him over for the game.
Oh, you were watching. I thought he walked over into your house.
I didn't know he was still here, but apparently they're watching downstairs. So hey,
they're watching the game. Hey, shout out your roommate's internet star today. Okay. Yeah. But I agree with you. To get back to our point, I'm worried always about and worried about fatigue with this, and I was worried about it in the first half. Again, when you have one guy not getting any minutes in the first half, like Frager didn't. Kale's got to play 10 minutes. Sam doesn't get as much rest in that situation. Jamarcus doesn't get as much rest in that situation, and that kind of trickles down. And I thought there were double effects of Kale having to play more than he usually does. So that's really interesting points that you make about getting to the line. And there was more getting to the line after that. But goodness sakes, they trimmed that. Those threes, you went Jamarcus 3, Price 3. These were consecutive points for Nebraska. Okay, this was the run. So there you've got DeVries made a 21-foot jumper, and they get up by 13. And then, as I said, these are straight Nebraska points after that. Hoiberg, 3-pointer. Jamarcus Lawrence, 3-pointer. Price Sanford, 3-pointer. LaMarcus with another driving layup, and then Price with the layup that he got. That ties the game. That stretch from the first point that was scored in that situation, which was Sam Hoiberg with the 3, his 3 was at 14-10. And before he shot that 3, the score was 55-42. So the final in that run, and so they made up 13 points, and the tying shot was scored by Price Sanford at 11:35. That's less than 3 minutes, Johnny. They went less than 3 minutes. They went on a 13-0 run. Stops every time.
And then not too long after that, we had our largest lead, which was 9, with like 4 minutes left in the second half. To be able to have a team that can make that swing when we've been pretty much dominated early in that game, that is so, I've never seen anything like that. That was incredible. It was just, and I just can't give enough props for Jamarcus Lawrence. That dude has,
oh my gosh,
that dude has played his absolute ass off for us, and him coming back.
Nebraska doesn't win this game without him. And number one, keeping them in the game. The first half at all, because without him, that first half is 20 point. It could have been way worse if he wasn't bailing them out on a couple of those late shot clocks.
Right there, because there was a couple, like you said, there was a couple of those late shot clocks where there was 0 seconds left, and he just threw up one from 30 feet and it went in. Those were huge. Those ended up being ginormous, had huge impact on the game. But the thing that I know we've talked about this already, but Nebraska keeps just finding different ways to win basketball games. And as somebody who has grown up watching Nebraska find every single possible way to lose in every sport, both basketball and football, I've learned that no lead is safe, no comeback is good enough. This team just has found a way to win every single game, and it's almost never the same. There's not been a single game where you could say, well, they won this game the same way that they won this game.
Especially in terms of the guy
in Wisconsin,
especially in terms of who's sharing the offensive load. The defense obviously is consistent in a lot of ways, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, but like, we won solely based on our defense against Michigan, but we won solely based on the fact that we were hitting shots against Oklahoma and Kansas State, right? Like we've come from way behind. We have gotten out to huge leads and been able to maintain it. There is not, I mean, I didn't think that 16 games into the season that I would still be like just flabbergasted by how this team is able to find different ways to win games.
Yeah, for sure. So they get it tied. But the crazy thing is, I mean, Indiana punches back pretty quickly after that. And they ended up getting back up by, I think they got it to 6, right?
Yes,
after that,
they did.
I'm trying to look. There was they were tied on 57 for a long time, but Wilkerson got a couple of free throws.
65-59, they got back
there
up
it is. When Wilkerson got fouled on the 3, that Kale fouled him on that 3.
God. It was a bad call, but Kale has to know better than that. Kale has to know better than to, I mean, he kept time and time again. Kale gets beat with the jab step and he jumps at a jab step and then he has to recover really quickly. And that's what we saw with, I think even Sam last year when he wasn't as mature defensively as he is now, but he would just be over eager to jump in front of somebody and then he would just get beat and then he has to make up for it. And then that's when you commit stupid, dumb fouls like that. But yeah, that sucked. But the way that we came back from that was incredible.
The Discord chat is full of play-by-play from Wisconsin, Michigan. So I don't know. I was going to check if we had any comments.
Oh my gosh, they're up by 2 with 30 seconds left.
Wisconsin is? Okay. Yeah. Well, it's stealing the buzz from our show here right now. We got to get this game over. So by the way, I want Michigan to win. I don't know if I'm right. I want Michigan to win that game. I want how are we ever going to get 1 versus 2 that I've been saying is going to happen for years for this Nebraska team?
We want Michigan to win if we can beat Michigan, and I think that Michigan has proved that they're beatable at this point. I mean, they were close with Penn State.
Yeah,
Penn State sucks. Wisconsin sucks. Wisconsin is so bad.
Well, but I don't know. We'll have time to talk about that. By the way, Bruce says off topic, but if they ever remake Napoleon Dynamite, I think Johnny should play Napoleon. Do you have any of the lines down from that movie? Could you even do that? Like, do you even
chapstick? My lips hurt real bad. Yes, sorry everybody. I did.
Speaking of hunting wolverines,
and they did something to it that was not what I was. Yeah, hunting wolverines.
What'd you use?
Freaking 12 gauge. What do you think?
Okay. No. Anyway, and then finishing it off, the Nebraska obviously comes back after they got it back to 6. And again, like to come back a second time is what I think is even more impressive. Right. And that was, so like that point, I'm trying to get back. It was 65-59. And then Price makes the 3 that you were talking about as soon as we talked right after this game. Tell me about that 3 and why, because he was coming off, he was curling right behind a screener. And
yes, so it was a dribble handoff. We do those all the time, but he was on like the right wing, 3-point extended to the wing. He gets a handoff from, I think it was Rank, and his back is. It might have been Bearcat. His back was faced to the hoop as he got the ball, so the hoop was like that way, and he doesn't even take a dribble. He just turns around, he pivots, and fading away. Just I screamed so loud when that ball left his hands. No, and then just that I could not believe that was the shot.
I'm gonna yell bangarang so effing loud. Just thinking of the meme.
By the way, speaking of Kent Pavelka, after the Michigan State game when we rushed the court, I went over and said hi to him. He had a line of like elementary school, middle school kids lining up to get like
huge with the elementary crowd
to get like their shoes signed by him. I mean, I'm all for it. I'm glad they love Kent Pavelka. What are you gonna do with a shoe signed by Kent Pavelka? Why don't
display it? They probably wear it to school. I remember
tennis shoes, probably.
Dude, I remember I took you to Husker football media day, fan day one year, and you wanted to bring this foam, like it was kind of like, it wasn't Nerf, but it was kind of like a Nerf mini. Oh, there it is! Oh my gosh! You wanted to bring that, and who signed it?
It's hard to read. It looks like
I thought Gans signed. I was thinking Gans signed it. But
yeah,
whoever signed it, I don't know how old you. Oh, it's all over.
Yeah,
Gans,
was he number 5?
No, Gans is 12. Zach Lee might have been 5 if he would have been.
I was going to say that's Zach Lee.
That's Zach Lee. I talked to Gans or Lee, and so you would have been about 5 years old, and you insisted on taking. I can't believe you have that ball.
Lee, there's Lee.
Exactly. You insisted on bringing that crappy ball because you kept telling me, you were like, but if I get it signed, I want to play with it. Because you were like, you didn't want to.
I was a stupid kid then.
No, but Joe Gans, I think it was Gans, and he was like, that's a good call. He was like, I want you to play with this. And so you because that was the only ball you could throw at that.
I also have this Bo Pelini signed ball. That's pretty.
Oh, now do you want to give us a tour of the is there anything we shouldn't see, by the way?
I don't think so, no.
All right,
this is my wall of stuff. I've got
for the podcast. I'll describe. Oh, that's the actual jersey that Bo Pelini wore when he surprised the team in the full uniform.
Yep.
That helmet is Johnny. That helmet is stupid.
Yeah,
it's stupid.
I know it's got the wrong sticker on it, but I can't find the right sticker.
It's so bad.
I don't.
That is dumb.
Well, I got it at what's the place? The new place at the mall? I don't even know. But I got this at that what the the garage sale thing they had at the practice field. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that Liberty Bowl by the is that the 2000
Alamo Bowl? Yep, and then the North Carolina with Elvis Presley on it. And then Bud Crawford, obviously there.
Nice.
Got some of these, but these are my favorite. Those were those placemats that you had from Misty's back in like the 80s.
I don't know.
I don't even know, but that's pretty sweet.
And you got your scoring explosion poster there, it looks like, on the wall, the 83.
Yeah, the scoring explosion.
Yeah.
Along with my record player.
Yeah. Stibbs, by the way, says, not long after that, I smoked Johnny an NBA Jam at Nebraska Brewing.
Oh, I remember that. I was so pissed about that because I had only played NBA Jam on the Wii, and we were playing it on like a arcade game. That was stupid. But
okay, real quick, we got to talk about Frager, and then let's talk about the implications going forward because, like, we're talking about all this. We've been kind of going through this whole process. Frager still hasn't scored. Okay.
Well, Frager, did he ever go back in the game after he got those 2 early fouls in the first half?
No, but he didn't score.
He never went back in the
half. He did not score until the second half, until he got that putback that he had at 6 minutes. Price missed it. Now he missed one. Remember, correct. He missed a putback that we were like, he should have dunked that. You remember that? And then then he missed a 3 at 6:45. He got his first point, I believe, and Caleb texted me this. That was his first basket of the game at 5:59. It was an offensive rebound and a 6-foot jumper. I can't remember what that was. Next possession, he makes the layup. Yep. That was the little scoop, right? Then Indiana gets Indiana gets a free throw. Jamarcus gets a free throw. Kale gets his free throws. Then he gets the step back 3-pointer.
Yeah.
With 3:41. DeVries gets the layup. Then Frager goes in, gets fouled, gets 2 free throws. Then you've got DeVries hit the 3, and then Rank hits the 3 at 1:43, and I felt like that was
he needed that so badly.
You knew he was gonna hit one. You knew Rank was good. He was so cold, and in fact, he finally hit a little one of his baby hooks, and I thought that got him right back into the offensive flow of the game when he finally hit that, because I don't know how many points he even had, but that
he had 13. He had 13, 6, and 2. But what I will say about Rank is in even that first half, he was able to get to the rim like he always does, but instead of going for those, I know the hook looks pretty, I know it does, but he was able to just get himself in a position where he could just go up for an actual shot. He had one on the baseline where he was behind the hoop almost. That was just incredible. He also had a couple times, I think he had 2 times where he did his little 3-point pump fake. He is the slowest pump fake and shot of all time. But he does his little pump fake and then he drives.
Don't say that about Dutch people. You can't.
No, but he looked legitimately like fast going to the rim on a couple of those drives, which I don't think I've seen from him before. He usually likes to take his time and eventually end up posting up, but he went straight to the rim, which I loved, because as much as I like seeing when his post shot goes in, he's shooting that at about like 40% on the season. Don't do that. Please do not do that. I didn't even say those numbers. I didn't even say that. But no, when the threes aren't falling, having him be able to be a weapon driving to the basket is going to be incredible. Okay, I have to say this now because I just remembered it. When Nebraska gets offensive rebounds under the hoop, every single time they go immediately back up with this. Rank is guilty of doing this so much. He doesn't ever come back down with the basketball. He catches a shot, he catches a rebound off balance and then puts it back up, and they never ever go in. If we were just able to, as a team, jump stop with the basketball and kick it out on some of those offensive rebounds, we would be able to have so many points on those. Like in the Ohio State game, when Sam got that rebound and kicked it out to Price for the 3 late in the game. Like if we were just able to do that instead of immediately trying to go right back up with a bad shot. I know Barricade does it. I know Jamarcus did it one time tonight. We leave so many points out on the court with that.
Yeah, Mast made that 3, his first 3 of the game with 1:43 left, put Nebraska up by 9 with, like I said, 1:43 left. DeVries went back and and right when Mast made that, I tweeted the game blouses thing from the Dave Chappelle show. And then DeVries made a layup, and I was like, oh, maybe I was a little early with that. And then I look up, and then Frager with that dunk.
Oh my gosh, that dunk was incredible.
So I am real quick. Since I have you on, and I don't know if I'll have you on this show again this year, although there may be people who want it. Well, it's not. We got a co-host.
I know.
There's not a job opening really.
I'm messing with you.
Good one. Like like your Frager was what, a year younger than you? I think you played against him.
2 years.
He was 2 years younger.
He
Did you play against
reclassified.
him? Did you play against him or not?
I never.
Even in like summer leagues or anything?
I'm sure our paths crossed at some point, but I didn't know his name. I didn't know who he was because he was just not that huge. But
right, like that. Like I always try and talk about this, having sort of been immersed in the high school basketball scene in Lincoln at that point. Like, how surprised were you when he reclassified and came? And then what did you start hearing last year about practices?
Okay, yeah. So the only thing I knew about this kid in high school was that like he kind of had a reputation for somebody who was like kind of just a jerk and up to some not good stuff. And so our student section just heckled the absolute hell out of him every time we played Southwest. And I didn't know. He didn't look, I mean, obviously he was a good player, but I didn't even think that he would be getting any other interest outside of what
there were 2 other guys in that program that got a lot more attention.
There were guys on our team that I thought could have had better careers at East. But I saw that he reclassified, and that was my sophomore year. So he was coming. He committed to Nebraska.
Of college, yeah.
Sophomore year of college. So he reclassified and committed, and then he came my sophomore year of college. And I had a buddy who was on the scout team or was one of the managers, and I was talking to him. I was actually doing strengths coaching for him, so I probably wasn't supposed to be talking about this, but I couldn't help myself. I was asking him what he thought about Frager, and he said, Frager may be, and this was on last year's team, so when we had Bryce and we had Juwan and we had all those people, he said, Frager might be the best shooter on this team. He said he might be the most athletic. He's by far the most athletic person on this team. Juwan Gary might have come close, but
I remember you came in about February, and this is when Bryce Williams is in all his glory, and you told me that, and I was like, "Shut up."
I didn't want to believe it either.
I was like, "Your guy is not. He's feeding you." You know,
listen, I thought Nick Janikowski was gonna be our our guy next year. I thought that was going to be.
So you are wrong about a lot of stuff.
Hey, he's tearing it up at St. Thomas, though.
Okay.
I will say.
Okay.
So is Gavin Griffiths. What's happening with that? But no, I just kept hearing little pieces of information like Frager might be like really, really, really good. Like there's a reason why Fred wanted him here, and at this point I didn't.
Yeah, but how did he see that? That's what I don't get. Like, how did he see that when? Right. I mean, I assume Frager was not getting other offers to reclassify and go to college.
I don't think so either. And this is why I think that it is so imperative that Nebraska is able to keep Frager. I think he'll stay. I want him to stay, but I think we're going to have to pay him. We need to give Frager whatever he wants to be able to stay here, because that coming from in the city, coming from the state,
they can't lose.
We have talent. We have talent in this state. He is a freshman, and he is out there competing and being a huge contributor on a top 10 team in the country as a.
Is he the freshman of the year in the Big Ten? That's interesting.
No, he's not. No, he doesn't.
I don't know who all is out there, but
I mean, I'm sure somebody has. Michigan's probably got like 4 freshmen.
Who, by the way, lost. They lost.
Did they lose?
They lost. Yeah, I mean, it's all over our Discord chat. They finally can concentrate on the show.
Oh, God. That makes stuff a lot more interesting. So, who do we got up next? We got Oregon.
Yeah, let's talk about
Oregon. Oregon.
As we kind of wrap a couple of things up. Let's talk about. Well, they're without one of their best players, or they have been. I don't know if that will continue to be.
I don't think it would have mattered
to be the case, but yes, Nebraska's schedule going forward now. Johnny, I remember when I looked at after they had Michigan State, Ohio State, Indiana coming. I'm like 1 and 2. Trent is good. You got to get one of these. You got to get one of these, and if you get 2,
I was fully prepared to lose all 3. Fully prepared.
One was I was like, you got to get one of these. That was it. And 2, I was like, that'd be amazing. I didn't talk about the 3-win series, and just to reiterate, to ever insinuate, as people are going to do, to insinuate that Nebraska basketball fans are now overconfident or not aware that they're not a blue blood. Don't bring any of that crap to this fan base. There may be weird issues with this fan base, but don't paint us as some kind of overconfident, too big for their britches bunch, because that's false. It's false. You're wrong. You haven't taken the time to listen to anything.
Every true Husker basketball fan understands how insane it is that we are in this position right now. And the only feeling that we have is just grateful. We're just grateful to be here. And so, yes, I completely agree with that.
Did you see that I was going back and forth with Ant Wright on Twitter this week?
Yeah, I was following that. What in the world? Why was he being kind of a jerk? I was like, I don't know. I thought he was.
I don't know if he. I didn't know what he was saying.
I don't know.
He retweeted me like 3 times this week.
I thought you had a decent point about the net. Also, I shouldn't be weighing in at all on like net rankings, because I do not have a single clue how they work.
It's a lot of efficiency that weighs into it. It's why Ken Palm, Torvik, the efficiency numbers don't like Nebraska. They didn't beat the bad teams by enough, and they beat a lot of other teams close. And while Nebraska's strength of resume now, I mean, Nebraska was behind Michigan, and there's I don't know. You look up KPI or BPI, or you can look up wins against bubble, and Nebraska's in the top 3 to 4 in all of those in strength of resume, right? So that's strength of schedule combined with your record. And I assume after today that goes up. Michigan's goes down. Nobody can say Nebraska ain't played nobody. You can have some critiques. You can say you don't think Nebraska is a national championship contender. Fine. I mean, I don't disagree necessarily. But I do not want to hear another national pundit say Nebraska's fans are getting too big for their britches, or Nebraska hasn't played anyone. They've had the most impressive resume.
Yeah. By far.
Or one of the top 2 to 3 in basketball, and the analytics back it up. Okay? So like the critiques are lazy at this point.
I mean, it has to go both ways. Every good team is going to drop a game to a bad team, but you know who hasn't? Nebraska. So I also think with Michigan winning or with Michigan losing that game, we were in sole possession of number one in the Big Ten, but now we are the only, like, legitimately, we are the top team in the Big Ten right now.
Yeah.
By oh my gosh, that is so incredible.
Standings, by the way, updated standings to the minute now. Nebraska first place 5-0, Purdue 4-0, Michigan 4-1, Michigan State 4-1, Illinois 3-1, Indiana 3-2, Ohio State 3-2, Michigan 3-2, Wisconsin 2-2. So that's the top half.
I do not want to get too big for my britches here, but
I just said we aren't going to be.
No, I know.
We aren't. Our britches are the right. Our britches are the exact right size. Or we are the right size for
I'm the
our
right
britches.
size for my britches.
I'm the right size for my britches.
My britches are
my
briaches.
Briaches, get it?
Yeah, no, I did. Yeah. But okay.
Hey, remember when everyone talked in Izzo language? Did you think that was a cool period of time? Like with Izzo, and Snoop Dogg.
Oh, like H to the Izzo.
Yeah, that whole thing. That was a cool. You missed that point.
I guess I don't get it. I guess
All right. Sorry. What were you gonna say?
We've got Oregon, who is 0 for in the Big Ten. I think we've got Northwestern, who maybe has. I mean, the best team we play before Michigan is Minnesota. Right beforehand. That's the best team we play.
Oregon did win at Maryland.
Well,
yeah.
What you do?
They actually had a weirdly close game against Gonzaga as well.
Gonzaga is not. I have watched them play basketball. They're not.
Tariq Francis put up 30 for Oregon when they took Oregon they took Rutgers to overtime.
And he's the one who's out?
No, who's the guy who was out? Somebody put it in the chat. Remind me. No, Biddle's the guy who looks like you think Frank Bass looks like a YMCA guy.
Yeah,
like
holy.
He looks like a incredible one. So, but in any case, Josh. I mean, Josh on the chat says I'll only be 10 out of 10 if they win 20 games now, starting down the barrel of a 20-0 Nebraska basketball. Then I'll be a 10 out of 10 that they're going. Look, there are plenty of Husker fans who agree with me. It's getting a little harder to have any doubt. I will say that. That's probably getting a touch harder. But yes, back to the schedule real quick, as we're all over the place here as we're wrapping this up. The Nebraska schedule now going forward. The Oregon game's a home game. Johnny, students are so that's your first.
Students are back. Students are
back.
My
gosh, that's like the first student game since what, Creighton?
Oh my gosh, is it?
Is that?
Yeah.
North Dakota was right before
we didn't have one. Yeah, no.
Oh, Wisconsin was the last.
Oh, yeah, because it was Creighton and then Wisconsin.
So that was a different world we were living in then. These students
I have yet to see a good home basketball game yet, other than Michigan State with a student section. I have yet to sit in the student section for a good basketball game.
That's true. And these again, it was a different world when it was that students. I mean, Nebraska just got to 10-0 with that win, with that Wisconsin win. That's insane.
Oh my!
So we're gonna have the students in there for Oregon in an 8:00 game. Yeah. That's on Tuesday night, and
at Northwestern.
At Northwestern, 3:00 game on the 17th. So that's a week from today. So that'll be just starting a week from right now. Then you've got Washington and Lincoln.
8 p.m. tip-off.
It's almost all 8 p.m. tip-offs. Yeah. You're right. And then Minnesota, an 11 a.m. a sleepy 11 a.m. game at Minnesota, although they're being well coached. Nico's doing good stuff there, I think, for Minnesota. So we are talking about between now and then. That's on the 24th. Nebraska doesn't play Michigan until the 27th. That's 17 days from now. This is going to be unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like if Nebraska doesn't have a letdown, and again, this is where I get to the point where I don't even want to let my mind think about it, but there'll be another poll. Michigan is going to drop. They're not going to drop. I don't know what's happened with the rest of the top 10. Nebraska might move up a spot or so, but at some point, if they handle business, and I assume they'll be favored in all of these games, if they would handle business in all those games, it's not really it's not a joke anymore. Like you've got a real chance at a top five versus top 5 matchup. Unfortunately, not unbeaten versus unbeaten because Michigan just can't, It's hard to do. It's hard to do. Okay. In Michigan's defense, I will say this. In Michigan's defense, it is really hard night in, night out to keep consistently winning and not have that. And you got to give credit to, I think a high ceiling Michigan team. A little way to go is maturity wise, but I think those guys, I think they may surprise some people after that loss. Okay. Let me so that I can't even imagine that game. Michigan,
oh my gosh,
number 2 right now. But the AP rankings as we stand right now, we're recording this, by the way, right after the game, Saturday, January 10th at 2:36. We'll probably have some people who are listening after the fact. But your rankings today are college football, so that's why they didn't look right, and that's why Nebraska's not in them. Sorry, that was inappropriate. That was
so done with football.
That was it. I can't find the rankings. Whatever, you know the rankings. Let me end on this
Google
one real
it.
quick. Google it yourself. One time on my radio show, I was giving. Sometimes I had to sub in when Caleb was gone or Nate's been gone for sports, but a lot of years ago, Caleb was gone for sports. And there was no sports going on, and I was reading hockey scores, but my internet wasn't like loading or something. And I told people just to Google it. I want to give you awesome. two quick things. We're way over time now, but who cares? Two quick things. I know you kind of talked about the being a basketball fan. You've not, when you were on the podcast after, what win was that? Was that the Illinois win when you came in here and unplugged my mic? But I'm just like, tell me about sort of the Nebraska basketball from a student's perspective, what it's like there, what you expect. It's been a while. You're going back to school on Monday. What you think it's going to be like there, and just kind of your sort of experience as this has sort of been the focus of your entire sports fandom, more than football, I guess.
Right. Yeah. I was going to say, I've been a basketball fan as much, if not more of a basketball fan than a football fan for my entire life. And the biggest thing I've noticed is that if any team, whatever it is, if any Husker team wins games, they are going to get, regardless of who it is on campus, who they are, you will get support. You will get people to show up. You will get people to care about that team. I have talked to more people about Nebraska basketball that didn't give a crap about Nebraska basketball before this season, but now are just like, I've got something to be excited about. Students so badly, just because, we're only here for 4 years, right? We need something to be excited about. And we've realized it's not going to be able to be football. It's not volleyball anymore. Baseball, whatever. They're going to probably go 500 and then win the Big Ten, because that's apparently what they do. But people are so excited that we have a team that is competing, that is getting talk on national stages. And we have people over here to watch games, and there's not one person that is not just intently laser focused. My girlfriend, who I don't think watched a single football game this year, came over, sat with me, and watched an entire Nebraska basketball game with me, because she had just heard everybody around her that's a student just talking about this team. And so just to be able to have this, and for me especially,
have something like this that you see other student bases have with whatever
you see
sport.
Everybody else gets something. They get some sort of just reward for being devoted. They get some sort of reward for just following and supporting a team. We have gotten nothing. We've got the Colorado football win. We've got we beat Wisconsin at home. Like that is what we as students have to hang our hats on for football. So, I have never seen student tickets being resold for this much. They're already selling tickets for down the road for $100+. They were going for $5 last season. They were giving them away for free. And that was last season. We weren't even terrible last season.
Wasn't that bad, yeah.
No, but just for me specifically, I have been so deeply passionate about every single Nebraska basketball team that I've watched. And I got so used to the losing. I got so used to losing in basketball that it stopped. I kind of got numb to it, and it just made the wins even happier because they came so few and far between. And now it's just like it's overload. Like I can't even. There's so many years of like my win tolerance being low.
Yeah, I've said
It's
like when we start talking about things like Nebraska being a top 5 team, like, or like, hey, what if they made it to the second weekend? It's like my brain short circuits. My brain has not been programmed to have those thoughts.
To have a team that's not like even just like we're not just exceeding expectations, but we are meeting the expectations that we like this team should. Like they are a very, very good team. We have had teams that have not been great and that have won some big games. Like, yeah, we beat Purdue. We beat Wisconsin when they were ranked. We had some of those crazy games where we just could cause chaos, but we were never the team that was supposed to win. And now that is us. And I don't know what to do with that other than just be so happy that it is happening. And I get to be able to go to games and talk to everybody about it. And it's just to have this be such a big part of my life right now.
We're soaking up. And I think every fan gets this. If you know, you're a Husker fan. Like, I think everybody's just kind of soaking every moment of this up. And like, I don't know if we'll get this again. I don't know if we'll get this 2 weeks from now. And again, I don't think anyone means it as a slight at Fred or the team or anyone else. It's us. It's not you. But I think that's how everyone is. I mean, I think this is a genuinely joyful, enjoying this moment. Every day I'm so excited when I get to look at all the memes. I can't wait to do that tonight. After this, I can't wait to take in the content. I can't wait to do these shows and read every other media member who's writing about all of these things and like take everything and just soaking it in, man, because you don't know when if and when you sort of don't believe it'll happen again. So it's great. And by the way, Stibbs was surprised to hear you have a girlfriend. I was too. Glad that.
Hey, screw congrats. You guys. I'm awesome.
All right. Let's wrap it. We went very long. Thank you to everybody who joined us. Still got 250 people watching after this marathon.
Holy cow.
13 minutes over. We were well over 300 earlier. A big shout out to Nebraska Realty again, Wahoo office. Give Kurt a call. You got the phone number up there if you want to call his cell. He'll get you hooked up with what you need. You don't have to be in Wahoo, wherever you want, whatever kind of transaction you're doing, buying, selling, estate sale, valuations, auctions, any of these things, they do it all. So, and these guys are great at what they do. So make sure and get them. And I just want to say, I think on behalf of Johnny as well, since he's with me today. So I know a bunch of people watching, a bunch of people on the Discord have, and I haven't had a chance to really get out there and thank people individually, but just a big thank you to everybody who reached out to our family. We had a tough week with this family. And we're going to have a tough next week in this family. And I'm not going to get into details. You can see it on my timeline if you want to go see it, or maybe you've seen too much of it already. But to be able to do this with Johnny, that was pretty. That was a little bit of light in a dark week, man. So I love you.
I love you
too. And this was fun. Great day. Can't wait to have another one. By the way, if you guys want more of this, more I-80 Club, you want to be a part of the community, really tight-knit community, got a lot of friends, real life friends out that have come through that now. Great Discord community. And then you're going to get some other shows as well. You're going to get my DJ sessions. Do you believe your dad is a DJ? Do you believe that?
I do believe. I heard you practicing before I moved out. But Shane Morris, I thank you. Why not us? Why not now?
Yep.
I think that sums up everything perfectly. That is very well said.
Oh, it's a $20. That's why Josh logged in here especially to post it. It didn't scroll down for me. No. Shane, I'm glad I didn't miss that.
Why not us? Why not now?
Shout out. Agreed.
100%.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
So there you go. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate your help on that.
Yep.
Yeah. So there you go. That is that is it. We will be back here on I-80 Club again. We'll see. We're gonna have to announce what we're gonna do with the next Nebraska Ball Hour because Johnny and I will be out of town attending my nephew's funeral on Tuesday after that game. So if we do one after that, it'll be Caleb and or Josh. We might move it back. I'll talk to those guys and find out. So we'll post all of it. We would ask if you like and subscribe to the YouTube page. That would be a huge help for us. It'd be a great way to support us. Doesn't cost you anything. And you get some notifications when we go live because it kind of varies. And sometimes we're making plans on the fly. All right. Hey, that is it. We're going to go enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you, everyone. Johnny, thank you for being available on short notice.
Thank you for having me.
I enjoyed having you on here. That was great. And we will see you next time. Goodbye from the Nebrasketball Hour. Let me say it one freaking final time. Nebraska, the longest winning streak. I can't make the hearts go up. The longest winning streak in the nation. They beat Indiana 83-77. They are now 16-0, alone in first place at the top of the Big Ten. There it is. And alone at the top of the Big Ten.
Okay, screw it.
And a number 9 team to probably go up in the rankings coming up on Monday. Have a great day, everybody. Go Big Red. And we'll see you next time on the Nebrasketball Hour.